discussing him last night. Like, he's the most British Spanish person you'll ever meet. He sounds like when he speaks, he lives in the UK, but he's pulled up nice and perfectly in his grid slot. So he's probably just concerned really for the rest of the field behind, that he can see this, probably can't see anyone behind in his mirrors because there is a lot of spray. So interesting decision. So we'll see how this goes. Fingers crossed everyone stays nice and safe and everyone gets off the grid nice and cleanly as well.
That's what we want. Leo Fornaroli was not happy with himself at all, the number 4 Trident car at the back there, for not really putting a proper flying lap together because of the track limit fences he had. But there we can see all 30 cars are on the grid. We're going to have a standing start for the first time this season in Formula 3 in the wet conditions. It's going to be a run up the hill to turn 1. The race between Gabriele Mini and Pepe Marti to turn 1 here in Austria begins now as the cars get underway, and a staller immediately there. Oliver Goethe did not get away off the line at all, but Pepe Marti leads us up the hill in the sprint race here at the Red Bull Ring. Gregoire Saucy is that Caleb Frederick, has gone through to P2 as they now make their way down towards turn number 3. We can see some of the cars going side by side. It's hard to pick out who is where, but we can see that Pepe Marti in that Campos Racing car leads Caleb Frederick down towards turn 3. Gabriele Mini, if there's someone trying to go round the outside and almost going off the circuit, I think that might have been Caio Collet, but I think everyone has just about gone through safely, Alice.
Yeah, and running down now into turn 4, you can see Gabriele Mini was slightly tighter on the exit. Caleb Frederick was on the rubber, and it's been interesting to see how much of an advantage it is to go round the outside there. He gets squeezed as Mini onto the curb. You don't want to be going on the curb in these conditions. They are very slippy here at this circuit. We've already got a yellow flag in the first sector, but now Gabriele Mini is under pressure from Paul Aron, who said yesterday he's full of confidence in his Prema car at the moment, and he dives down the inside at turn 7. Will he keep the position? Yes, he does.
Yeah, and obviously we did have a brief yellow flag in sector 3 because of the staller Ollie Goethe there, but we ride on board with Gabriele Mini now coming up towards the final 2 corners, where we can see in 4th place Caio Collet running a little bit wide. I think that's Zach O'Sullivan trying to make a move on Christian Mansell. Christian Mansell in the white livery. Oh no, we've got one of the Genza cars off. I think that might be Alex Garcia, is it, that has gone off. But a very good start for Pepe Marti. Murray Boyer dropped to 4th place, Solon likewise as well. So a few drivers finding some dramas, but overall everyone through safely. O'Sullivan trying to go round the outside of Mansell here, the Williams Academy driver, trying to get himself up into P6. Not quite able to do it, but he'll give it another go at turn 3. And he's got Bortoletto just behind.
Yeah, there's a little bit of debris flying off down the main straight, so I'm unsure who that's from. Caio Collet goes bravely down the inside, and he's going to be on. Oh, there's contact between both of the drivers. Mini goes slightly wide, but it looks like he might just keep the position. One thing to note is no DRS as well in these conditions, but I don't think we're going to need any of that, so it's down to the line as well, as we see our championship leader dropping down the order.
Yeah, Gabriel Bortoletto is tumbling down the order. I'm not too sure what happened to him there. He is now down in 14th place, as we're side by side between Mini and Collet. Collet experienced in these conditions around this circuit, in these cars, and Gregoire Saucy is dropping down now as well. But we are seeing his teammate Caleb Frederick run in 2nd place. Lots of drivers jumping down. I saw Barnard and Garcia hit problems, and they are both in pit lane. It looks like Garcia might be returning to the track now, but a few drivers in the wars already. One of them our championship leader, as Alice mentioned there, Gabriel Bortoletto.
Yeah, and you can see the variation of lines that people are trying to take through this last sector of this circuit, and Pepe Marti's got a nice, as you can see, breaking off line into turn 1, bringing it back, keeping it tight, and then they're barely using much of the exit curve, and if you do, you can see how sideways they get. Really slippy on the exit here, so we want to try and stay off some karting style. You've watched plenty of kart races in your time, Chris, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. As we ride on board now with championship leader Gabriel Bortoletto, he's going to be braking on the rubber going up the hill into turn 3. Does he get the car stop? Yes, he does. Is someone still on his inside? Yes, they are, but he does get a good exit.
That's a fantastic move from Bortoleto. If he can hold it on the exit, we can see a little bit further up the road. I think that is that one of the MT cars. It is. I think this is the Edgar and Montoya battle we now pick up. Montoya, the Red Bull Junior, just dropping down a little bit there, but it's great start from our leader, Marty. He leads the way. Edgar has dropped a couple of pit positions as he's fighting away. Mansell has gone through. Montoya in the Red Bull livery car around the outside. Edgar's going to try and hold his own in that orange MP car. Gets his elbows out a little bit. Both giving each other racing room. Fantastic stuff in the early stages of this Formula 3 race. You'll notice we have no DRS open, so they have to make the moves naturally as we see the number 10 car of Franco Colapinto making his way down the hill. He's in the Williams Academy car. Onto the start-finish straight he goes, and it's Pepe Marti leading by over 3 seconds. Caelan Frederick behind under a lot of pressure here, Alice, from Paul Aron.
He is indeed, and we saw a good example of running wide there by Christian Mansell, how sideways he got when he took the curves. Garcia chats with the engineer. Let's see a replay of the start. Everyone did a fantastic job, just missing Ollie Goethe. I mean, I shut my eyes when I see a driver stall like that on the grid, obviously not myself, but from watching. So a perfect getaway from our race leader, not so much from Vinny, who lost it, from Caelan Fredericks. And you can see actually everyone was pretty clean and respectful going through there. And then we can see what happened to Garcia. Side-by-side contact. Does he keep it out of the barrier? He did. But too much damage sustained.
This is Gabriele Mini we see now. Oh, wow. We're trying to get around the outside of, I think that would have been Colette. And Colette having absolutely none of it there, Alice.
Yeah, he got a little bit of understeer and then tried to pick up the throttle. And that kicked the rear. Into the side of Mini. So let's see if this is going to see how Bortoleto might have lost his places.
He's just...
So is he... Yeah, or I wonder if he maybe hit the pit limiter possibly. So I see sometimes drivers fumbling at the wheel when they're getting a kick of oversteer or something and they touch the pit limiter, so possibly that happened. But here now, battle continues between Browning and Mansell.
Great stuff from Browning getting through. I can tell you Gregoire Saucy is down in 28th place. He's had huge dramas in this race. Our driver who will start from pole position tomorrow for the first time. But we are watching left of screen to the right of screen in the white livery. That's going to be Mansell, and Bortoleto trying to sneak up the inside after tumbling down the order at this part of the circuit. He's now trying to get on the move. We jump on board with him. Doesn't go to the right, doesn't have any room there. He's going to try and go to the outside where there might be more grid. Gabriel Bortoleto on a charge to try and get back into the top 10 and get some points on the board here. But Christian Mansell doing a good job in defence so far, Alex.
Yeah, he is, but he's under a lot of pressure. So you see slight different variation of lines. They're cutting across the rubber there. Seems more ideal line. Is he going to brave it down the inside of 7? No. Again, going to cut back across the rubber, avoiding that curve. Don't want to run too wide on that in the dry as well. This incident involving Caio Collet and Gabriele Mini has been noted, forcing another driver off the track. So you can see people are just experiencing lines at the moment in these cars and also trying to find a way through the driver in front. So Max will just need to regain his composure. As we can see, a spinner in the background as well.
Yeah, one of the cars going round. Let's have a look who that is. Oh, it's Hugh Barter that's tumbling down. That's a real shame for Barter, taking a spin out of the final corner. Perhaps just got a wheel on at the exit curve, and that flicked him into a spin. But we now go back on board with our championship leader, Gabriel Bortoleto. His nearest championship rival leads the race in Pepe Marti. He can add 10, possibly 11 points to his score. A race that could have been for Taylor Barnard. He's gone quickest, but he's all the way down in 29th. But let's focus on this
Gabriel Bortoleto in the tow here. We saw him do this last time. He's trying to sell the dummy, I think, to get back down the inside this time. Mansell having none of it. Bortoleto's going to have to go the long way round. Has he forced him into a mistake? I think he maybe has done. No, Mansell doing a good job to slow the car down there. So Christian Mansell still in 11th place. This is good defensive driving.
Yeah, that was great on board. We got there, and a really good example of how Bortoleto is trying to adapt to try and get past Mansell, but also still searching for grip at the same time. Let's see what happens to Hugh Barter. Runs slightly wide on the exit of 9. Oh, and he clobbers the inside curve at turn 10, and that just bounces their car. You don't want to smack that curve in the dry, let alone the wet, and it sends him round. So Pepe Marti, though, is in full control out front. 3.5 second lead at the moment, and lighting up the timing screen as well. So he's feeling very comfortable. But Paul Aron, I said earlier, he's full of confidence in his Prema car, and he actually said after qualifying yesterday he was very frustrated with having the lap time taken away, but was full of confidence with his team, and that's certainly showing at the moment. As Bortoleto goes again, he'll pull to the left-hand side. Christian Mansell will keep it tight to keep the defend. Can he try and get in front? Bortoleto will try and get the cutback. Mansell needs to try and stop the car, and you can just see, staying off the rubber, how much traction you get. As Bortoleto, great example there. Christian Mansell chopping in front of him, and he'll try once again.
He's going to be getting very frustrated now in that car, isn't he? You can see the top 10 point scorers streaking ahead here. They're, 3 seconds clear of these guys now. Bortoleto will want to get by and want to do it quickly, and this time he might have forced a mistake. He's going to have the outside line going up towards turn 6. Has Gabriel Bortoleto now done enough? He's going to have to go the long way round, and Mansell shutting the door in his face, but Gabriel Bortoleto thinks he's found a gap in towards turn number 7. Can he get the car stopped in time? He's on the rubber, there's not much grip there, and yet again Mansell holds on, and this has just invited Dino Beganovic to join the party as well, and he won't be alone. Mari Boyer coming with him as well. They can see him to the right of screen in that orange MP, and here comes Beganovic round the outside of Bortoleto. Got to be careful of track limits through there, but Bortoleto now has to be looking in his mirrors rather than trying to get on the attack, Alex.
This has really spoilt Beganovic's attack now. Sorry, Bortoleto's attack now. He's got Beganovic behind him. He was only having the task of having to attack, was Bortoleto, but now he's got the task of having to defend as well. He's got a good run out of turn 1, but then more battles raging for second and third position. As you can see, just the car's getting all out of shape, but it looks like Paul Aron has got perfect traction out of turn 3, and he's pulled in front miles before turn 4. Can he get the car stopped? A little lock off the front. Is he keep it in track? He does.
Patience paying off for Paul Aron. Set that one up nicely. I tell you what, the car to watch probably could be Franco Colapinto in the background. He has been lighting up the timing screens here, doing personal best lap of the personal best lap, and he's closing the gap down to Gabriele Mini. So Franco Colapinto, we could see him using his experience here to try and work his way. Caio Collet, in the background. Then behind that, Franco Colapinto, but Collet is in the Van Amersfoort colours in the background of this. So 4 in this battle. Caleb Frederick was looking in his mirrors at Paul Aron. Now he's going to have to look at Gabriele Mini, then behind that Collet, and then we have the likes of O'Sullivan and Franco Colapinto in the Williams Academy colours behind that. But look at Paul Aron, the gap he has pulled already, and he's just done a new fastest lap of the race. This is going to be the start of the chase to lead up Pepe Marti. Gabriele Mini in the meantime is now trying to get past Caleb Frederick himself to get himself onto the podium. Will he do it at the same place? He's seen how Paul Aron has done it, Alice. Will he try and execute the same move?
More than likely, getting the cutback, as we've seen plenty of drivers do it already throughout the grid. So Gabriele Mini has come alive all of a sudden. A really strong first sector in the previous lap. Can he get the cutback? No, he can't, but he might come under attack now from Caio Collet. They are still under investigation for their incident earlier on. He's going to bolt for the outside, try and brave it on the brakes. Can they both get the car stopped? Yes, they can. Can he go around the outside? He does.
I tell you what, the conditions making this race even more exciting than it might have would have been. This has been absolutely fantastic stuff in Formula 3 so far. As Gabriele Mini dives down the inside in towards turn number 6, and that is going to be move complete for the Alpine Junior. Fantastic driving from Mini. He moves into 3rd place now, and next for Kaelan Frederick will be Caio Collet, who is just behind him. There we can see Collet there in the middle of our picture. Dino Beganovic, by the way, has gone past Gabriel Bortolini in the fight for 11th place, and now past Christian Mansell as well.
I don't know where to Frederick, and he's coming quite fast, so we need to put more. I'm going first.
Yeah, look at that gap, Alice. It's really coming down. Look to the left of screen. You'll see that gap was once 3.7 seconds, if my memory's correct. It's now 2 seconds between Marty and Aaron. Aaron is coming after him really quickly. Did a 1:33.5 last time. Marty did a 1:34.7, 1.2 seconds faster than him.
Yeah, so just looking there, our previous shot, Beganovic has actually got past Mansell and our championship leader as well. As Caio Collet now goes on the charge and does the swing back down the inside. Does he get it stopped? Yes, he does. Great and aggressive move, but he's on the rubber on the exit. Is he going to get the traction? Kaelan Fredericks does, and then we've got the two Williams cars, Academy cars, fighting behind as well. So battles wherever we look at the moment, but a great move by Caio Collet. Can they keep it? And that's going to be Browning in the gravel.
I think that's Colapinto off in the gravel. That's a real shame. He just sent it down the inside of O'Sullivan. Tried to be brave on the brakes himself coming down to a turn 4, and Colapinto has found the gravel. I think he's found an escape road, so possibly we could continue without the need of a safety car. But that's a real shame, because he'd been going along very quickly and looked like he could have get on the move for a possible challenge for a top 5 finish there, as we see Caio Collet. Let's have a look at this move, Alice, once again. This is fantastic stuff.
So he solved the dummy on the brakes, desperately getting the car to stop, stops it on the apex, so that delays then Frederick having to get the cutback. And then you can see, yes, apologies, it was Franco Colapinto. He goes to the outside, but he'll brake on the rubber, just can't get the car stopped, and then your heart sinks as you sail towards the gravel. He does find that escape road, so he'll have to drive all the way around. As you can see, Christian Mansell now still got a queue of cars behind him.
Yeah, this time.
Now Johnny Edgar very close. Ollie Gray behind him, and even on the grass from Johnny Edgar. That is not the fastest way to go down the straight at any point, going on the grass. It's wet enough as it is. As you can see, he braves down the inside now. Does Ollie Gray? Gets the car stopped. They're going to go 3 wide on the exit there.
That's Ollie Goethe recovering from stalling side by side here with Murray Boyer in that MP car. They charge their way down towards turn number 4, and Ollie Goethe. Some of the drivers seem to have held the tyres very well. Others seem to be falling off the cliff. Oh no, that was contact there, unfortunately. One of the cars going round. That's the number 18 of Rafael Villagomez. His race here has ended badly once again. Ollie Gray was the other car who made contact with him, it looked like to me, and that's going to be a safety car. That is not good news for Pepe Marti. The gap had come down to 1.3 seconds, but nevertheless, that is, I guess, not good news for him. They'll close that gap right up.
Yeah, that is so unfortunate. I think probably Ollie Gray was looking to have one of his best results so far of the year, and that car is going nowhere from Villagomez. We'll have a little look at the replay shortly. Yeah, no way is that he's going to be able to drive that back at all. So it was all going so well. Everyone was keeping it nice and clean. We got to lap 12. And unfortunately, this is what happened. So down the inside by Ollie Gray, which is actually a nice, brave move. And then we went 3 wide on the exit, and they managed to keep it all clean. So Ollie Gray doesn't get the exit, which then means he's under attack from Villagomez, and he brakes a little bit too late. He actually gets a little bit of oversteer as he tries to turn in, which then washes him wide into the side of Villagomez. So I think, yeah, there's only one driver, unfortunately, to blame, and that is the Rodin Carlin driver of Ollie Gray, and really unfortunate for Villagomez, the innocent party there.
Similar fortunes for for him back at Barcelona, which saw a penalty for Hunter Yeany. And Ollie Gray, well, he can leave with some positives in this race. He drove very, very well up until that point. It is his first season racing at this level. A big jump up from him this year. Ollie Gray will be very disappointed with that one. You can just see the understeer on the car, which saw him clatter into the side of Mia Gomez. But the Ronin Carnival driver, Alice, I think he won't. It would be hard to say this to him now, but I guess he can take a lot of positives away from it.
It's safe to say he wants to listen to those positives right now, as you say, as you can see, walking away with his head down, very frustrated, but certainly a lot of positives. Pace was looking good. He was joining that battle behind Mansell, which was certainly heating up. It was already hot enough as it was, and it just was getting even hotter with the amount of cars that were queuing behind him. As you can see, safety car out now, bunches to filled up. So Marty now will have to regather his thoughts. He had, I'm unsure of actually what the gap was before the safety car came out.
1.3.
So it was already coming down quite quickly, wasn't it? So he will now have to regather his thoughts, try and work out, well, where he can actually improve and go faster. The team will be on the radio, that's for sure, telling him, right, this is where you're losing the time. And it's actually, we're looking at our timing screen, it's the middle sector, which is between 3 and just before the entry of 7, is where he's losing most of his time to the driver behind, Paul Aron in the Prema car. As you can see, the drivers are driving offline, so on the wetter part of the circuit, just to try and cool their tyres. So you'll be thinking, but hang on, don't they want the most temperature to get round at the start of this race? But no, the tyre temperatures will already be up and probably need a little bit of cooling. And actually, you can see the amount of spray that has dropped on the circuit now, especially going into the entry of 3. And there is the Campos team looking very nervous, nothing said on that pit wall.
Well, let's go through some of the order. I mean, one driver that immediately jumps out to me is Leo Fornaroli, who started 30th and dead last. He's moved up to 15th place. If he gets to the top 10, then Leo Fornaroli, racing in this championship for the first year, he will get some points. But that's an absolutely superb performance from him. Let's quickly go through it before the safety car fills in then. So Marty from Aron, then Mini, Collette in 4th, Frederick in 5th, O'Sullivan, Montoya, Red Bull Jr., doing very well in this race. He's come up from P15 to P7. Then Johnny Edgar, he's doing a great job in 8th place as well. He's come up from 16th to 8th place. Luke Browning has come up to P9 from 14th on the grid. Then Beganovic. But watch for Leo Fornaroli. He's on an absolute charge. Likewise, Ollie Gerther, the two teammates working together. But now we get to the end of the safety car, and Marty, it's all down to him, to when he wants to go. He will know he needs a good restart and to create a battle behind Alice.
He desperately needs a good restart. So green flag, safety car is in, and he has gone. He's made his jump already just before turn 9. You can see still a fair amount of spray through there, but actually a good restart if he can get a clean exit, and he does. Great restart from our race leader as he brings the field round, who are all heavily bunched up, all trying to desperately get the toe, braking offline into turn 1, and a couple of battles raging, 4 wide coming down into turn 1.
Look at that in the background, and that includes Fornaroli, by the way, and Gerther. They're trying to go round the outside of a couple of drivers there. We see Dino Beganovic fighting away. This is Gabriele Mini, though, fighting with Aron. This is exactly what our leader wanted, Pepe Marti. No one to worry about as he hits the brakes up towards turn number 3, but Mini is going to dive down the inside of Aron. Aron's got better traction round the outside of the corner. I don't think there's any incidents in the middle of the pack. Beganovic has gone up to P9 ahead of Luke Browning, but our leader comes down towards turn number 4. He's got a lead of about 1 second, but once Paul Aron gets up to speed, that could start to come down. So keep an eye on the gap between our two leaders. As do we see anyone coming off at turn 4? No, someone definitely running wide, which I think might have been Mary Boyer, losing a place to Nikita Vedrin there, who's also coming up the order very well. Fornaroli is up another place. keeps moving. Johnny Edgar likewise. We've just seen him in the middle of our picture here in the orange MP going by the Red Bull Junior Sebastian Montoya. So the British driver there trying to get up towards the top 5 positions, as here is our 2 leaders, Alice.
Yeah, as we can see them coming round now. A clean start from everyone. You can see still squirming for grip, as we're going to hear now from our P2 driver.
Track limits ball, and we have a black and white flag, so the next track limits will be a time penalty, so watch out, you need to be super clean.
So remember that story, track limits, well, it's back, and 5-second penalty will be applied for your 4th offence. So you get a black and white flag for your 3rd offence, you get 2, you can say you get 2 free, and then your 4th offence will be a 5-second penalty, and then your 5th, and after that will be a 10-second penalty. So you don't really want to be abusing track limits in the wet, because the wider you go, you can see getting squeezed on the inside was Bogdanovic. As we can ride on board now, it's Luke Browning on your right-hand side, and Bortoleto on board with. Coming down, heavy braking zone, downhill, really easy, especially in these conditions, to just lock the front. As we can see, one of the Genza cars running wide. We've got the 2 going coupled side by side, scrabbling for grip. These 4 Pirelli tyres will be screaming now.
I'll tell you what, up front, Marty's done a good job here. He's kept the gap at around 0.7 of a second, make that 8. I would try and go through the track limits for you, but there are far too many to go through. We've got instant between the likes of Collett and Mini, which has been reviewed. No further action between them. They are currently fighting for 3rd, so round 2 of that fight will take place in the final 5 laps of this race, which is where we come to now. This is Gertha trying to get down the inside there of the Williams number 10 driver, which is Franco Colapinto. Can't quite get through, but here we go. This is the fight for the 5th place position now between Caelan Frederick and Zach O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan goes to the outside. He's going to try and get the switchback and the run up towards turn number 3, and I think he's done it. Caelan Frederick is squeezing him all the way to the edge of the circuit, but O'Sullivan is holding his own on the inside. He is there, and his countryman Johnny Edgar behind will try and follow him through here as they make their way in towards turn number 3 now, hitting the brakes there. Can O'Sullivan get the car stopped in time? Yes, that's a superb move from O'Sullivan, but Frederick trying to come back through on him, can't quite make it. Now he has to worry about Edgar, as here we go once again. We were riding on board with Bortoleto here just a lap ago. Now we'll go back on board with him as he tries to make a move on Browning. There's battles everywhere you look as Edgar dives down the inside of Frederick. Can't quite make the place, but this is fantastic racing in Formula 3.
And breathe. And we have 4 laps of foul. The raging continues as Edgar braves round the outside. That's usually the grippier line in wet conditions. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. What a move by Johnny Edgar, which boosts himself up into the top 6 now. And it won't be too long before Bogdanovic is going to be coming to enter the party, putting under a lot of pressure of Montoya. You can see there in the background, but good move by Johnny Edgar, who raced here last year and 7th in the sprint race. He finished racing with Trident last year, with MP this year. As you see, Frederick's running slightly wide on the exit there. And here we go. 3/10 now the gap for the lead, and actually you could say it's a 4-way battle for the leaders. Mini and Kyle Collett have just set personal bests, with Gabriele Mini the better of the 4, as it's still, I mean, hard for our camera track side to keep up with all the action.
Yeah, it's where to look, isn't it? But I'd say the leaders now, 4 for the lead. There's our championship leader still fighting away with Luke Browning, and he sends it down the inside. That should be P10 and the last and final point. But here we go. 4 for the lead, like Ali said, and there we can see them all in our picture now. Marty defending from Aaron. Aaron trying to get the switchback out of 4 and up towards turn number 6. Can't quite get through. Looks like he's going to try and go to the inside. Remember, he has to be careful of track limits. 1 more offence, and he will receive a 5-second penalty. As we look back from Pepe Marti, Aaron thinks he's found a gap on the inside. The Mercedes Junior diving down the inside. Our 2 leaders side by side in this race. Pepe Marti doing all he can to hold on, and that was good defensive driving from Pepe Marti to hold off the Prema driver.
Yeah, but it's not over yet. As you can see, Mini's even trying to add in the action by distracting the drivers in front, weaving in their mirrors as they're going to come round, complete the 17th lap onto the 18th, and it's not. Gabrielli's right there now, going to get in the tow, and it's going to get interesting on the exit of turn 1. Paul Aron's going to dive onto the brakes. Is he going to get the cutback or brake around the inside? Outside he goes, he gets the cutback, the better traction, and now he's going to have the inside for the run down into turn 3.
Yeah, Aron to the inside, Marty to the right of screen, and on the outside, and Aron there, forcing him to brake on the wet, but he's got to be careful. Here comes Gabriele Mini, who's found a gap on the inside. It's a battle on the brakes in towards turn number 3. Mini taking the curb to try and get the run, and Aron just about has enough traction to hold on, but this battle is far from over, because don't count out that man at the back in the orange and black Van Amersfoort, Caio Collet as well, was Mini once again trying to get down the inside. This is superb racing around the Red Bull Ring. Fantastic stuff in the sprint race. Remember, 10 points go to the winner. The top 10 score points. And so these drivers fighting for championship positions will want to get as many as possible.
Paul Aron looking for his first win of the year in Formula 3. Gabriele Mini looking for his second, but a disaster lap, you could say, for Marty, who's now going to, I was going to say he's going to go from bad to worse, but he just manages to keep third position. But he's gone from leading at the start of this lap to now down into third position, and he's under a lot of pressure from Caio Collet as well. But the battle for the lead, this is the replay then, from Mini's point of view. So he's thinking, right, I need to try and make it down the inside here. And then a little gap opens up there and he goes, yep, thank you very much. I'll pull it over to the right-hand side. And he jumps on the brakes, braking actually slightly off circuit as well. Hooks it over that curb, just won't quite have the traction compared to Aron on the exit, and then slots into second place.
Great racing, great on-board pictures. It's not over yet. Caio Collet now tries to find a gap. Oh, did very well to stand on the brakes literally there and stop from going into the back of Pepe Marti. Franco Colapinto looks like he's lost a couple of positions, not too sure what's happened into him, but Caio Collet now is going to have to do some work to close this gap back down to Pepe Marti, and Aron looks like he's made a break for it here. Alex Gabriele Mini is trying to do the best he can to hold on, but it looks like he's breaking away, and we see Fornaroli, oh no, contact!
Puncture.
He stalled it at the start of the race, puncture now. It's just gone from bad to worse. This battle here really kicking off with the likes of Fornaroli and Nikita Bedrin.
Got back to Terry now, got the battle continuing between Caio Collet. Is he going to try around the outside of turn 9? No, he doesn't. Thinks better of it. Slots in behind. But is he going to give it a go down into 10? Yes, he is. Will he get the car stopped? Just about, but he's going to be the inside for Pepe Marti, and look behind now, Johnny Edgar and Zach O'Sullivan are joining the fight, and it might just be Caio Collet who does make the move. Great move for him. Can he keep, but he doesn't keep on track. He gets a poor exit, and Zach O'Sullivan might get both of them.
Yeah, Zach O'Sullivan there in the Williams colours, the Prema driver, now trying to make his way through on the outside. We've got Johnny Edgar at the back of the queue as well. Any one of these four could be the last driver on the podium. Pepe Marti now goes down the inside of Zach O'Sullivan. I don't really think that was in the plan, but he's going to give it a go anyway. And it looks like O'Sullivan has just held on to fourth place. And now Johnny Edgar in the tow. He's going to surely make a move on this battle as Collet defends. We've got Frederick catching as well. Beganovic likewise. It could be 6 in this fight by the time we get to the final corner. Here's Collet.
Let's fight.
It's a spotter there, being a spotter. We're doing a bit of Indy assistance there. As we can see,
Edgar's through.
Johnny Edgar is through. Incident involving Ollie Goethe and Bedrin. We looked after the race, so unfortunately a puncture for Ollie Goethe. And then Marti now down to 6th place. And let's have a look what's going on in front. So Paul Aron, he's got a healthy 1.3 second lead.
will be the final corner of the race. We've seen him on the podium at Australia. We've seen him on the podium at Monaco. Now he's on the top step of the podium in the sprint race here at the Red Bull Ring. A superb drive from the Mercedes Junior. The Alpine Junior, Gabriele Mini, finishes in second place. Good points on the board for his championship hopes. And Caio Collet, after some superb moves towards the end of the race, finishes in third. But what a drive from Paul Aron. Challenging conditions out there. His first time racing around this circuit in this car in those conditions. And Paul Aron got up to speed incredibly quickly. And he will be very, very happy with that result. That moves him even further up the championship. Superb driving from Aron. Mini in second. Collet in third. O'Sullivan a solid fourth place. And Edgar, one of his best drives of the season in fifth.
And here we go. Paul Aron, your Formula 3 race winner. Great stuff, amazing drive. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Call that redemption, baby! Ah, they took away my phone. They can't take away my win.
Let's hope not. Don't jinx it, don't jinx it. But very, very good job from Paul Aron, starting 8th on the grid. So let's have a little look back at a couple of instances. We've got Soloff into the back of Bedrin.
Oh.
And Love Tap there going down into turn 4. Good job for both of them to stay. Actually looks like Peter's got damage on his front wing, so I wonder if that was through the contact he had with Goethe. But a great job by, and actually I have to say, great driving by majority of these drivers. Nice, respectful driving from the front. Few as well, which put on a great show for all of us to watch, and a fab win for Paul Aron.
Yeah, that's a good job. Nice one, mate. Nice one to get back from all the first weekends. You guys deserve it. Woo, was nice.
Yeah, well driven by Caio Collet. We saw him on the podium in the very first race of the season, but since then he hasn't been there and has barely been in the points. So a much needed good result as we start this run of races for him. Oh.
Yep, and it looks like a little bit
of fusion here.
Fusion, whether they go and park on the pit straight or whether they go and park in the pit lane.
This isn't the first time this has happened either.
No, so Paul Aron
he's got the track to himself now.
He has.
Car was mega. Good job, everybody.
Well, he's going to go for a victory lap, I guess. An unexpected one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that comes with a penalty. Hopefully for him it doesn't.
There we go.
So there's the
invisible man.
First place stop. Just on Caio Collet as well, he had a good result here in the sprint race last year, finishing second, so another podium for him. As Gabriele Mini, he'll be pleased with that. Well, has he just stopped on the...
I think so. I think he may have stopped in P1.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on what happens there. As Gabriele Mini pulls out what looked like a tear off from the side of his car, so he should be happy with that. Started second, finished second, as they're probably having a good old chuckle at Aron going round.
Where is he?
Onto the grid, as the marshals will push him back. So there we go, failing to follow race directions instructions. Oh no.
How does that one usually go down?
Well, I don't know. I can't answer that question. I know that
as you can tell,
of qualifying or free practice, for example, if your pits are in a different location, like at Silverstone, like at Abu Dhabi, those kind of circuits, if you follow around and don't follow the race director's instructions, usually it is a penalty for the next race. So hopefully for him, they're feeling in a good mood despite the weather, and they will be nice and lenient on him and allow him to just get a slap on the wrists. But that's down to his celebrations a little bit, and he can't pull up in front of his team and stand on top of the car. Or maybe he will when he gets pushed back down there eventually, but the marshals will have to push the car because the car will be under scrutiny.
Yeah.
So they won't be allowed to have the team push the car, which is why the marshals are doing that.
Well, he did say they can't take away my win, so let's hope for his sake that it's just a slightly race. Never see Gabriele Mini, Paul Aron being pushed back to P1. His first win in Formula 3 after getting that penalty yesterday, which took him off pole position. He, in a way, took advantage of that and made the places required to go and take the win. A little bit frustrated with himself as to how this ended up, but nevertheless a fantastic drive. Likewise from Mini, good points on the board from him after a disappointing qualifying. Colette, a much needed podium. But I have to say, Johnny Edgar, that's a superb drive to come through 16th on the grid to P5. That's an absolutely fantastic drive.
Yeah, a really good job by Johnny Edgar. Just shows that in these conditions it is possible to make moves up the field. A great track here for racing, and he's given us a great demonstration of keeping your nose clean, just picking them off one by one, taking your opportunities. I certainly did Paul Aron as well, so he's nearly back to celebrate with the team. Bruno Michel, is he just joking, getting a penalty? Did I hear that wrong?
Also, well done to, I'd say, corner rolling Mackenzie Cresswell across the line safely as well. I didn't see him involved in any incidents. His first ever race in Formula 3 at the GB3 driver, so well done to him. And he's made us wait a little bit, but Paul Aron now is pushed into P1.
Yeah, he's a little bit embarrassed there, doesn't he? He's like, oh no. He's not in too much of a rush to get out the car. He's probably thinking, oopsie. Put the steering wheel back on. Is he going to jump on the top of the car?
Yes.
There is your winner. Finally back in the right position. Having a good old chuckle with his Prema team. Great drive by him.
They say you never forget your first win in Formula 3. I guess that one he definitely won't forget.
Celebrations all round. Good job by the Mercedes Junior.
Well done to him.
Oh,
Fantastic drive.
the
Paul
Formula
Aron
1
celebrates with the team.
I don't know, the Formula 1 car started there.
Super happy to get his first win, of course. You're never going to forget, as you said, your first win. And Prema, they'll be very happy with that, and with their driver, as he said, on pole position yesterday. He felt that they took that away from him. But he finally, once he was back in the right place, he was able to celebrate with his team.
Fantastic stuff from Paul Aron, and well, let's hear what he has to say, I guess, in the call.
Okay. Call the P4. So we got P1.
The start he did was great.
Oh no, who stalled?
Good.
Yeah, it was P5.
Wait.
Who was behind me? Barter or Manson?
Months.
Look at that. Look at you, mate. Bah. Oh, hey!
Hey mate.
Where are you going?
I was the last time I was on the podium was Monaco, so we went on the grid and
Maybe it was 1 month and a half ago.
yeah, it was great.
Well, that really saved
It was 1.5 months ago. And
Yeah,
it was
where?
accident of 2 trees.
No! That was happening to me all the time. That was not, but I was going by that.
Oh, but turn 9, I don't know what, the line, the white line.
Maybe it's because it's the paint, so that was.
I almost showing the
oh my god. Last time I was on the podium was Monaco, so I thought we got in, and my radio was disconnected.
So his radio was disconnected, so the team were probably saying, well, he was talking on the radio, there wasn't he? I'm not sure, maybe
do I hear Formula 1 cars
on the way round was waving to great
They're probably
crowd.
warming them up.
Up, braved the rain. But I love hearing those. They go, mate, look at you, pushing me my mates, it's the white line. Oh, great.
We must say an apology for technical damage and emotions high in the call cool-down room. The drivers now coming out onto the podium. Caio Collet finishing in third, his second podium of the season. A much-needed one for his championship hopes as well. Gabriele Mini out onto the podium. As I said, not the best qualifying for him, but this is the third time he'll stand on the podium. He stood on the podium a couple of times in Australia and Monaco, Paul Aron. Those times it was on the third step. This time it's on the top step. The driver from Estonia on the top step. Fantastic driving from Paul Aron, fantastic celebrations at the end as well. Well done to the Premier driver. They add another win to their list.
Make sure you join me.
Mercedes Junior. You'll definitely remember this one with a lot of hard work
for the Formula 3
that,
feature race.
Took advantage
Make
of
sure
those
you
tricky
tune in for this.
Certainly did. Tough conditions out there for all drivers, especially when you're.
This is why I like Formula 3 and Formula 2 the best.
They're
favourites at the moment. Different drivers win every single weekend.
Did a great job to start off with.
Not the same drivers Formula 1. So.
Drivers charging through. Albert Marcus obviously. Well, I don't know what he might be asking, but it almost seemed like it was a bit of a question like, what happened? How come you didn't win? Great job by all of these drivers, and they can enjoy it.
Yeah, from P8 on the grid, Paul Aron moves to P1. A superb performance, pulled off some great moves throughout, kept his nose clean, and in the end, Paul Aron taking the win by 1.4 seconds ahead of Gabriele Mini in second. Caio Collet in third. Wet conditions out there, but
it's the Formula 1. It's the Formula 1 sprint shootout qualifying. Make sure you join me for that session too.
As you say, never lets us down. Always great racing. Wet conditions just adds to that as the drivers bunch up on the podium now. We've got more to come with Formula 2 later on as well. So don't plan too much for your day. We've got some great racing coming.
It's going to be a busy day of action. We kicked it off with Formula 3 sprint race, and that's not going to be the last we see of them this weekend. The feature race tomorrow, crowd enjoying that one, and as I said, they've got plenty more to enjoy in Formula 2 and Formula 1 as well. But it was a very, very busy race, wasn't it? Lots of overtaking going on. A few incidents along the way, a safety car later in the race. But this is how they ended up in the end. Paul Aron started 8th on the grid, finishes on the top step of the podium, was on a real charge. I think that penalty in qualifying yesterday really made him get his elbows out in this race. But he got to the front, and it was an absolutely superb win for him with the fastest lap, so he gets the maximum 11 points. Gabriele Mini, Caio Collet round out your podium. Zach O'Sullivan from P10 to P4, solid drive from him. Johnny Edgar from P16 to P5. Pepe Marti will be disappointed from pole position. He could only finish 6th. Caleb Frederick likewise from 3rd place, he finishes 7th. Dino Viganovic picks up a few points in 8th. Sebastian Montoya a couple of points in 9th place as well, and our championship leader Gabriel Bortoleto adds what could be a vital point to his tally come the end of the season. Luke Browning just outside the top 10, a great fight with Bortoleto. Boyer was doing his best to get inside the top 10. Colapinto 13th. Mansell at one stage had a big queue of cars behind him as he defended position, but in the end he lost a few, finished 14th. Fornaroli from 30th on the grid, he finished 15th. He'll be one to watch tomorrow. Solov and Bedrin had contact towards the end.
No, F1 and all that would be finished.
Cohen 18th, Sophia Flash, a very good 19th. Her best result of the season, Hunter Uni behind that. Gregoire Saucy, he dropped down the order at the end. At the start of the race, finished in 21st, and Smith was 22nd. Barter, Mackenzie Cresswell, welcome to Formula 3. Well done on making it home safely, and in 24th. Roberto Faria 25th. Ollie Goethe stalled at the line and then had an incident. Taylor Barnard also having an incident. Gray likewise. Villa Gomez did not finish, nor did Alex Garcia. Well, tricky conditions for us this morning, but a superb race in the end. And we have another new winner in the FIA Formula 3 Championship.
Not sure about it.
We will be back for the feature race at 8:25 local time tomorrow. But for myself and Alice, goodbye.
Bye-bye. That was good. That was really impressive. And there you go. And then we're going to end it